Hello everyone, I want to once again welcome you to Kathy's Creole Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a special treat. We're going to make king's cake. Because this is the beginning of Mardi Gras season, everyone has to have a king's cake. It's a little bit labor intense, but it's so worth it. So I'm going to start off first with all the ingredients you're going to need. We're going to need 1 cup of milk, 1/4 cup of butter, 1 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 2/3 cups of warm water, 1/2 cup granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon active dry yeast, 2 large eggs, and you got to beat them up like I always tell you, 2 teaspoons vanilla extract, and 5 to 5.5 cups of all-purpose flour. That's the first step. So the first thing we have to do is we have to heat up the milk and the butter. And we want to do that for about 90 seconds. So I'm going to put the butter in the milk and then I'm going to heat it up for 90 seconds. Okay, so we've got the butter and the milk heated in the microwave for 90 seconds. We're going to let it cool down to between 120 and 130 degrees. Now we're going to heat up the water. We have the water, we have to heat it up so that we can activate the yeast. So I'm going to heat it up until it warms a little bit because it's got to be good and warm. So let me get this warm, but you don't want it hot. You don't want it scalding. You just want to pop it in the microwave and heat it until it gets warm. Okay, so I heated the water, the 2/3 cup of water in the microwave for 45 seconds. It's warm enough. We're going to put 1 tablespoon of the sugar in it. We're going to put that in it. 1 tablespoon of the sugar. And we're going to stir it up. Let me get a spoon to stir it up. We're going to stir that tablespoon of sugar. And then we're going to add the yeast. We're going to once I put in the tablespoon of yeast, let's dissolve this sugar right there. Yep, that's dissolved. We're going to put the tablespoon of yeast in. And we're just going to stir it up. And what you want to happen is the yeast has to become frothy. If it doesn't become frothy after 5 or 10 minutes, then it is old yeast. It's not good. And I just bought this from the store. So I'm going to cross my fingers that it's going to get nice and frothy. And then we'll go from there. So we're going to let it activate for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so as you can see, the yeast mixture is frothy and bubbly. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this mixture in the mixing bowl. We're going to add the butter and milk, which has cooled down to 130 degrees. We're going to add in the sugar, the rest of the 1/2 cup of sugar. We're going to add in the beaten eggs, 2 beaten eggs, the vanilla, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and the 1 3/4 teaspoon of salt. So we're going to put that in. We're going to beat it around a little bit. Well, I think I better put the paddle mixer on there. Let's take the dough hook. It's not time for the dough hook. I was a little premature putting the dough hook on. So we're gonna set the dough hook to the side, and we're gonna put the paddle mixer on here so we can get this all combined. There we go. So let's kind of beat it in there. And mix that in. We're going to put in 2 cups of salt. So I'm going to take my little measurer here. And we're going to add 1, 2 cups of flour. So we're gonna mix that up. Then once we get this mixed, we're gonna add a little bit of the flour at a time. So we've already done 2 cups. It's mixing. We're gonna put in the 3rd cup. Mix it. Okay, turn that off. We put in the 4th cup. We're going to mix it. And I'm going to put in this 5th cup, and we're going to mix it. Mix it in there. The extra 1/2 cup is just in case it's too sticky and we need it. So we're going to let it mix it until the dough has so it's supposed to be a sticky dough that forms. Yep. See, it's a little too sticky. So we're going to add a little more dough. A little more flour to the dough. So let's just kind of pour it in there. And I'm actually going to be right back. I'm getting a spatula. I'm going to turn this down and I'm going to scrape down the sides because this flour will help the sticky dough form. Okay. Let's just get it going. So we're going to put it up to, we're going to take this off. See how gummy it is? It's still kind of gummy. So we're going to scrape this off. Right there, get it all off there. See, it's very sticky, but you want it to be a little more stiff. So we're going to put the dough hook on it and we're going to knead it some more. Let's just put that there. We're going to take that off. We're going to put the dough hook back on. Put that down. And we're just going to do it on medium speed until it starts to get stiff and it separates from the bowl. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to let it do. I'm just going to keep it going until it starts getting stiff. Okay, so the dough looks like I might be able to take it out of the bowl. And I got my notes right here. And try to knead it. So I'm going to flour my surface here. This is my surface. And I'm going to try to take it out of the bowl. I think it's still a little sticky. So I'm going to add some more flour to it. So let's see. Let's add the rest of the flour. Let's see how it's going to do. Okay, that's looking better now, I think. Let's lift it up. Take it out. It's supposed to be very sticky like this. So I'm going to get it all out. Now it's still way too sticky. So I'm going to have to rinse my hands off and get some more flour. Okay, so I've got some more. I got another cup of flour, but I'm going to add it a spoon at a time. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to pull this back and try to see what's going to happen with it now. I wanted to make, yeah, that's looking better now. Yep. I think it's going to form into the ball now. Let's do another spoon. And that's what you have to do. You just have to keep adding flour until it gets to the desired consistency that you need it to be. And it's got to be no higher than medium speed, because then the, oh, I think we're good now. Yep. So let's get it off. Open it up. Yep, it's sticking together great. So I floured this surface here because I'm going to get it off here, like so. I'm going to take this off because it's in the way. And I'm going to take it out like this. Okay, see? It's very sticky. This is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be sticky like this. So then I'm going to put it on the surface with the flour. And I'm going to add a little more to dust it, like that. And we're going to knead it 5 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, get this off my hands, 4, and 5. That should be good. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to get all this off my hands, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, the next step is to get a little oil. I guess this is maybe a tablespoon, a little more than a tablespoon. I'm not going to put it all in there. We're going to get the big bowl and put the oil in there, and we're going to coat the bowl. Yeah, I think I'm going to use it all. Use a tablespoon, and then actually, to save time, I'm just going to rub it around all in here. So I'm going to do that. Now we're going to get the dough. We're going to pop the dough in there, and we're going to coat it with the oil so that when it rises, it does not stick to the bowl. And then we're going to see how it's tossed around and it's coated with the oil. Now there's another step. I have to get some saran wrap. Okay, so now once you've got it all coated, you're going to cover it with plastic wrap. This is so that it can seal up and get nice and warm. And we're going to put it in, wrapping it in the plastic, and I'm going to place it in my pantry for 1 to 2 hours. So that's what we're going to do with that. Once it starts rising, when it gets close to the time to take it out, then we'll make the filling for it. So I'm going to let it rest for 1 to 2 hours, depending on how much it rises. It may be an hour, hour and a half, or it could be 2 hours. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see, I changed clothes. It's because after I did the dough and put it to rise, I decided to wait until the next day to do it. So in the meantime, before I take it out and roll it out, we're gonna make the filling. And what I have for the filling is I'm gonna do a raspberry filling. So I have 1 cup of powdered sugar, 2 tablespoons of butter, 4 ounces of cream cheese, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/3 cup of raspberry. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the 1 cup of sugar, the 2 tablespoons of butter, the cream cheese, and the teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm gonna mix all that together until it's smooth. And then when we roll out the dough and make it into the cylinders, we're gonna put the cream cheese on the bottom and the 1/3 cup of raspberry filling on top. So I'm gonna mix this until it's nice and smooth. Start on slow because you know it'll scatter everywhere. So when I get this done, we'll go to the next step. As you can see, I've stopped the mixing because the cream cheese mixture is smooth. I have some flour here, and I'm gonna spread it on the counter. Because we're going to punch down the dough and then we're going to roll it out. So take the plastic off. As you can see, the size has doubled and it's risen. So I'm going to put it on the counter and we're just going to punch it down. That's what we're doing. We're punching it down. That's it. So I'm going to take half of it. Probably should get something and cut it in half. That'll make it a lot easier. I'm going to take half of it because this is enough dough to make 2 king cakes. And I only want to make 1 because the second one I'll probably make different. I'll probably do something different for the filling. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna add some more flour and then I'm gonna roll it out. And once I get it rolled out into the desired shape, we'll take a look again. I would be negligent if I didn't give you the little tip for the rolling pin. I always flour my rolling pin and then I just start rolling. And you continue to flour it and roll. And you really want to make this into probably about a 10 by 16 inch rectangle. So that's what I'm going to do now. So as you can see, I'm rolling, and then when we get the desired shape, then we'll go to the next step. Okay, this looks to be about the right size here. So we're going to take, I'll move this out the way so you can see what's going on. We're going to take a pizza cutter and cut it in half. So we're just going to go right down the middle, cut it in half, and then we're going to get the cream cheese that we have in here, get it off the beaters because we don't want to waste any of it. I'm going to twist it off, and we're going to get it. And we're just going to spread it kind of in the middle. You want to generously put it in the middle because you want all that wonderful, delicious flavor to be in here when you bite into it. So that's what we're doing here. See, we're going to get it right in the middle because you want to be able to pinch the edges together. And if you put it all over, then you won't be able to get those edges pinched together because it'll be the little balls you see in there is the butter. And when you cook it, the butter, like it looks like little lumps, but it's the butter. And when you cook it, the butter will melt because the butter was just kind of room temperature. So we got that in there like that. I'm gonna get it all in here. It looks delicious. Got it all blended in. Let's get it all together. And we're going to get as much as we can out of here. This is just so yummy. Okay, so we got that in there. So now we're going to take the raspberry preserves. This is 100% organic raspberry preserves. We're just going to kind of mix it in there with the cream cheese. And I know you're wondering, well, why didn't you just mix it in the mixer with the cream cheese? Well, if you do that, then it gets kind of lost in the cream cheese. So I like to layer it. This is better to layer it. Just put it right on top of the cream cheese mixture. Just like so. So we got that all done. Nicely done here. Set that aside. And now we're just gonna roll it. We're gonna take it and roll it, just like kind of a streusel or something like that. Just gonna roll it into a nice little cylinder. It's a little messy, but that's okay. Now we're gonna roll this one over. And we're gonna pinch it together as we roll it over, because you want it to. Got that rolled over. That rolled over. I'm gonna pinch it together like that. Just like so. I'm gonna pinch the edges. See, you've got a nice little cylinder now. Let's get this one and do the same thing. Roll it over. Roll it back over. Pinch it. Pinch it together. Get it all rolled on there. Takes a little time for sure. Now we got it pinched. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to twist them together. So let me move this one over here. Take that one and set it there. And we just go one over the other. Just like that, because you're making kind of like a little twist. Because you want it to be wrapped together. Just like so. And then we're going to twist it around into a circle. And we're going to, well, let's wrap this one a little more. And we're going to pinch them together like that again. It's a lot of pinching going on. Like Mardi Gras for real, because when you're out at Mardi Gras, there's a lot of pinching and patting going on. So we're going to get that. And I have a prepared baking sheet where I've put parchment paper in it. So you want it to be in a rectangular shape. So I'm gonna try to, I probably need a spatula. Try to lift this. Gonna try to lift it onto the sheet without making a terrible, well, maybe not. Let's just do it like this. Like that. There we go. So we got it on the sheet. Like that. Make sure you pinch it together. Now we're gonna cover it in saran wrap and we're gonna let it set for 45 minutes. And let it set again. It's a lot of setting going on, but that's what happens when you're baking bread. And this is pretty much like a kind of a bread dough. So let's just shape it like that. Want it in that nice oval shape. I'm gonna get the plastic wrap, because you're gonna want to put plastic wrap on it to let it set. Hand on plastic wrap, and And we're just gonna get the plastic wrap and put over it and let it set for 45 minutes. And once we get it set, we're gonna put it in a 350-degree oven for 20 to 28 minutes until it's golden brown. And then we're gonna frost it after that, after it cools. So let's just let that set for 45 minutes. Alrighty, I have rolled out the other half of the dough, and I'm going to do a cinnamon pecan mixture. So I'm going to actually take the cinnamon and the teaspoon of cinnamon and stir it and mix it in with 1 cup of pecan pieces that have been parched in the oven. You know, when I say parched in the oven, that means I baked it and browned it in the oven. Okay, so I got that mixed in there, the cinnamon with the pecans. And also I have a cup of brown sugar. I don't know that I'm gonna use it all, but I wanna make sure to have enough. So let me straighten something out. That should be better. My camera was a little crooked. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my hand and sprinkle the sugar and rub it into the pastry, just like so. I wanna rub it in there. I'm gonna just rub the brown sugar all in there because I want it to be nicely in the bread and for the cake. So we're gonna put it in there. Lovely, you know, because a lot of people like, in Louisiana especially, like the pecan praline type tasting, because that's what it tastes like. Once you get it all in there, it tastes like a pecan praline. And this is the way our ancestors really made it. The raspberry stuff is newfangled stuff, that fillings that we put in, but this is probably the original way to make a king cake. It's with the brown sugar and the cinnamon and the pecans, because in Louisiana that was readily available. Pecans were readily available. So I've got the sugar in there. Got the sugar in there, and now I'm gonna do the pecans. We're just gonna sprinkle the pecans in there because the object is to get you know, a bite of the pecan in every bite you take of the cake. So it's really, really tasty. So what's that? I just wanted to give you another, the original way of making it with the pecans and the cinnamon and the brown sugar. So we're gonna do the same exact thing we did with the last one, with the raspberry one. I'm just gonna roll it up and then twist it up, and I'm gonna let it set for 30 to 45 minutes, most likely 45 minutes. And that's it. So this is the original filling. So I'm get this rolled up and twist it up, and then I'm gonna let it set for 45 minutes. Alrighty, so I've had the first raspberry one rising for 45 minutes. This is how it looks. We're gonna pop it in the oven, and a preheated oven, 350 degrees, and we're gonna leave it there 25 to 30 minutes until it turns golden brown. And so let's get it in the oven. And we're just gonna set the timer for, I'm gonna set the timer for 30 minutes. And if it needs to cook more or less, you just watch it after about 25 minutes. And that way it won't burn, or it won't undercook or overcook. So while we're talking about that, let's talk about my YouTube page. I would like for you guys to subscribe to my YouTube page and like my videos. It's really important that you do that, because if you don't do that, I don't know if you're watching the videos, if you don't give me feedback, I don't know if it's not just a waste of time. So please subscribe to my YouTube video, Kathy's Creole Kitchen, and like the videos. But let's let the king cake cook for 30 minutes, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so the timer is going off. Let's take a look. Let me get something to grab it out. Let's take a look at it. It looks marvelous. Marvelously cooked. I'm going to turn it off, but I'm going to check the temperature because the temperature inside is supposed to be 190 to 195 degrees. And if you don't have the correct temperature, then you're going to bite into raw dough. So we get the very middle of it. You put that in. And we'll see how hot it is. It's got to be at least 190 degrees or it's not cooked. Okay, actually it's 200 degrees, so we can take it out. It's cooked. We're going to take it out. Some of the cream cheese mixture went all kind of busted out, but that's okay. It's still delicious. I'm going to set it there, let you take a look at it. Let me get the rack to put it on. And the thing about a king cake is you have to let it cool completely because the next step is to make the frosting. The frosting is the festive thing of the king cake. So we're going to set it here. We're going to let it completely cool. It probably takes about an hour to completely cool. And then we're going to do the frosting. Alrighty, so the king cake is cool. We're getting ready to do the frosting. And the frosting consists of 2 cups powdered sugar, 3 tablespoons milk, 1 tablespoon butter, 1 teaspoon lemon juice, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to mix all that together and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I've got it all mixed in the pan, but I'm going to put it in a Pyrex measuring cup and then I'm going to heat it in the microwave for a minute. Well, not a minute, about 10 seconds because I like everything to make sure everything is melted together. Makes it better for me. Well, maybe not. It looks like everything is pretty well melted. So yeah, I got it mixed and the reason I'm pouring it in the measuring cup is because I'm gonna spread it over the cake. And it's real important that as soon as you spread the frosting over the cake, you pour on the colored sugars. It's because you want the sugars to sit with the frosting. So the colors are going to be green, gold, and purple. Gold represents power, green represents faith, and purple represents justice. So let's get these open. We're gonna drizzle it all over the cake like so. And it's important to get a lot of it on it because it just makes it look so beautiful and festive. There we go. We're gonna let it run on down. Spread all over it because everybody wants the little sweet frosting. And now we're gonna do green on it. That's our first color. The first color is gonna be the green. We're gonna put the green on it. Get a good portion of the green all over it. Then we're gonna do the gold. Yeah, that's my gold. Right there, like that. Close that up, and we're gonna do the purple. Just like so. And then you just start all over. You just keep it going around the cake. Green. Gold. Oops, got a little lump. Gotta take that away. And now the purple. And that's it. That's a king cake. But there's one step I missed. So let me get that and I'll show you what it is. As you can see, I've cut the cake. That's how it looks. Nice and beautiful. Show it to you. There's the piece, and you can see the little streusel filling in with the raspberry. Let's take a bite and see how it is. Truly delicious. So if you want to impress your friends during this Mardi Gras season, just bake up a king cake. I want to thank you once again for watching Kathy's Creole Kitchen. Please join me next week when we'll bake up something great or cook something great. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube page, Kathy's Creole Kitchen, and y'all have a great Mardi Gras season.